Okay, hello, nice to see a lot of names here. I'm not seeing so many faces and bodies, but if you would like to unblock your video, that would be lovely. Otherwise, hello, people with blank screens and just names. Um, I would ask if there's anyone who has not been in this gentle flow class yet. And only some of you are visible. Anyone who's visible who has not been here before? I don't see any hands raised, so I'm going to assume everyone knows kind of our protocol and what we do. You can sit in a chair or on the floor to begin. So feel free to choose either. We do a few opening movements in the chair after our centering or on the floor. Sit back if you're in your chair. Sit upright on some height if you're on the floor. And in either position. Finding that inner lift. Lengthen the spine. Length in the back of the neck. And let's begin to work on that here and now. Many of us are finding ourselves over our devices more and more. So we're countering that with the upright posture. We're closing our eyes or keeping them just slightly slit open if that's more peaceful for you. Drawing our attention inward to our breath. Just that, here and now. Noticing the rhythm of your own breath. Please draw your hands now together at your heart center. Gently press your palms together and encourage your lift, your inner lift, by sliding thumbs a little bit up the sternum. And we'll begin our time together with chant of 3 ohms together. Feel free to join me out loud, or you can participate by listening, breathing in. Inhale, exhale, replace your hands to your lap. If you're in the chair, bring yourself forward, away from the support of the chair back. If you're seated, you can just, on the floor, you can just stay exactly there. And we'll begin with some very basic opening movements to link our breath with our body. Bring your arms out into a T position and then slightly down behind you and at a diagonal. Lift across the collarbones, feel the breadth there. And as you exhale, simply take your arms into a hug. Open it up again on the inhale. Take it into a hug, crossing, opposite arm on top. And just that for a few rounds, inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, it's not just the arms, you're lifting, you're arcing your spine a little bit. Exhaling, for those of you who don't have the back issues that I often mention, for anybody who's new, this is not for anyone with osteoporosis or disc injuries, but if you don't have those conditions, you can round in. And inhaling, safe for everyone, lift, open. Exhaling, come to neutral or round in. And a few more times at your own pace. And the next time you open on the inhalation, pause and remain here. Thumbs are rotating back behind you. So you're getting a little bit of an opening in the shoulders, as well as that lift in the spine, counteracting our winter slumps. And come on back to neutral. Release hands to lap. We'll do one more thing. With our hug, bring your arms out into a T position. And if you're in the chair, let your feet and legs go a little bit wider. If you're on the floor, you can just remain as you are. Crossing one arm over the other. We're going to take this into a little lift and lower. You can add the head, lifting the gaze and lowering the gaze. Coming back to neutral, take it into a sway from side to side. If you're on the floor with your legs crossed, just sway your torso back and forth. Legs will remain solid. Come on back to neutral. For anyone who would like to take a wrap position for the arms, if you're familiar with that, you can pause with a little lift in the wrap. Or remain in the hug. That wrap is not accessible to everyone, I know. Come on back to neutral. Remember which arm is on top. We're going to switch that up. Bring the arms out into a T. Before we switch though, let's just take some nice easy shoulder circles. One direction and the other. And coming back to the T position with the arms, cross opposite arm on top. Take your hug. Little lift and lowering. Little lift. Exhaling as you lower. Really, at this stage of our practice, even more important than what's going on with the muscles and bones and joints is the breath. So focusing on the inhale and the exhale. Come back to neutral. Let's take it into some side sways. Find your breath's pattern. You could be moving very slowly and swaying on the exhale. Come back to center. Here's our last part of this. Take your wrap if you care to. Little lift. You can remain in the hug if you prefer, or there's this halfway position, which isn't quite to the wrap, but gets you halfway there. And release, bring the arms down. If you're in the chair, come on back to a standard mountain position. Slide your feet a little bit closer to the chair. We'll come to stand. So you're going to hinge forward. Find your hips crease. That's the place where the legs meet the torso. Nestle your thumbs in there so that you're sure you're not hinging from the waist. And then either keep your thumbs there or you want a little help, you can use your hands. Inhale, exhale, come all the way up to stand. We'll do it one more time. Exhaling, push those hips creases back, release to your chair. Bring torso upright. If you're on the floor, of course, just come to stand in any way available to you. And one more time, come all the way up. Inhale, lift arms up overhead. And release arms alongside the body. Let's come into mountain pose. Take a look down at your feet. Big toes are in alignment with each other. Arms are long without being rigid. And just take a moment to switch your weight over one foot and then over the other. This is not about stretching or strengthening. It's just shifting your center of gravity so that you can find center. Mountain pose. Neither on one leg or the other. Both legs solid and strong. Equilibrium. It's the word I've been trying to repeat to myself all week with everything that's been going on. We can always find a few moments of equilibrium. And releasing from your mountain pose, we're going to move into some of our gentle flow. Some of you are facing a chair. Some of you prefer not to use the chair. Either way is fine. Hands directly in front of the heart center. Find that inner lift. And we'll start just the arms. Inhaling, exhaling, release them down alongside the body. And inhaling, lift. Exhaling, hands to heart. Adding on, inhaling. Exhaling, chair pose. Feel free to hold. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling to chair. Inhale, lengthen legs, lengthen spine. Here we go in chair pose again, sitting back as if you were going to land in a chair. Inhale, exhale. We're going to be working today with Warrior 3. So it's a pose we don't do quite as much as some of the other warrior poses. And in Warrior 3, our hips are facing directly forward, not like Warrior 2 when we're to the side. So to prepare for Warrior 3, step your right foot forward, your left foot back. And we're just going to play again with that transfer of weight. So bend both knees, hands at heart or on the chair. And lengthen the back leg. Lengthen the front leg. Bend both knees again. Let's do that one more time. Lengthen the back leg. It's more like a standard lunge, but lengthen the front leg. You feel your weight forward. Let's take that into our Warrior 3. So your weight is forward, your back leg is lifting, and your torso is hinging forward. One long line from crown of head to your heel. Could be here, you could be on the floor. You could be going a little bit more deeply. Deep isn't always better, remember. Pausing here in our first adapted Warrior 3 of the day. And release, bring that foot down, bend the knees, come up to stand. We'll do it on the other side. So step the opposite foot back. Right foot now is back. And bending both knees, you can hold or not. Straighten the back leg, straighten the front leg. Feeling that transfer of weight. Let's do it again. Both knees bend. Back leg lengthens. Front leg lengthens. And here's Warrior 3, our first little adapted Warrior 3. Foot stays on the ground or not. Little lift. Sliding hands down to wherever your Warrior 3 takes you. Breathe. We'll be doing it again, so don't be overly aggressive this first time. And of course, if you're not using a chair, your Warrior 3 is a little more challenging without the hold. Everyone release that foot back down to the earth, bend the knees, come back up. Mountain pose. And we're going to take our chair version of downward dog. If anybody feels like they're ready for downward dog on the floor, feel free to do that, but I'll demo at the chair. Stepping your feet back, finding your long spine, bending your knees for our first chair dog of the day. Keep those arms long, wrists straight so we're not collapsing in the wrists. Press down into the chair or the floor if you're down there. And send your hips back. Breathe. Stepping one foot and then the other forward. We're coming back to chair pose just for half a second. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll put that all together so we have a Warrior 3 flow. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, chair pose. Inhaling, your lengthening could be here, or it could be here. Chair pose again. Let's step the left foot back. Here's our double knee lunge. Both knees are bent. Straighten the back leg. Shift the weight forward. Warrior 3. Maybe after having experienced the pose once, you're ready to lift opposite arm. Or both arms can come behind you. Both arms forward. Not even going to demonstrate that. Release the arm, release the leg. Bend the knees, let's step back. Okay, so I'm just trying to remember, we're going to use the opposite foot on the other side, but we'll take a downward dog in between. So stepping back, taking your dog pose now, perhaps your legs will lengthen. Breathe. Bend the knees, now the other side, so left foot is forward, both knees bend, straighten that back leg, straighten the front leg, Warrior 3, your Warrior 3, wherever you are, here, 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 maybe for some of you, down onto the floor. I can't see a lot of you, so I'm not sure who's doing what. Stay with it for another breath or two. Lift opposite arm if you'd like to, if that feels challenging but pleasing. And release, bring the hand down, bring the foot down. One last chair pose for now. And inhale, lift. Exhale, hands come to the heart center. A few more breaths here in the nice stability and equilibrium of mountain pose, this time with hands at the heart. And releasing, bring your hands down alongside your body. We're going to come into standing balance for today. Come to stand, please, on the right side of your chair. Find your mountain pose. Breathe. Hands to the heart center, or you always have the option of holding on to something. Outside leg comes forward, little bend in the knee. Breathe. Let's transition into a little foundational tree and lift the arms, lift the gaze. Bring hands and foot back down to home base. Let's do that again. It's a little balance flow. Foot forward into tree, foundational tree. Inhale, lift. And exhale, home base. Let's do it again. This time, option will be to lift. Foot off the floor. Let's all do it together. Your version of what's known as crane pose could be grounded or lifted. Come into tree. Lifting arms if you choose to. Sometimes keeping your hands at your heart feels more centered, more grounded. And release. We'll do it one more time and we'll do a slightly longer hold in tree pose. Crane, tree, lifting. Here's your hold. Sometimes our balance is a reflection with what's going on emotionally. So if you find that, you saw me just reach for the chair, if you find that your balance is a little bit off at any particular time, that could very much be a reflection of your state of mind as much as what's going on with your body. And release. Let's transition to the other side. Set yourself up in mountain on the second side. No need to anticipate. Stay grounded in each moment. And outside foot comes forward. We're starting on the ground. Little foundational tree. Lift arms or arm. And hands come back to heart, foot to floor. Do it again. Crane pose. Foundational tree. Little lift. Home base. With the lifted foot, if that's how you've chosen to practice, crane pose. Tree. Make sure that foot isn't coming to the knee. So you're either above or below the knee. Lift. And release. And now, our last time, we'll introduce the hold. Lift. Tree pose. Those transitions can be tricky. Lift arms, lift gaze for more challenge. Brief hold, come out at any time. And release, come on back down. Mountain pose again. And we're going to bring in a little bit of movement, a little bit more ease. Might feel nice after that long hold. Toes directly forward, and your feet are much wider than a standard mountain. One arm lifts and the other arm slides down the outside of the thigh. Breathe it up, inhale. Second side. Little side tilts, and you're using the momentum of that base arm to bring you back up on the inhale. Nice sweep of breath and movement. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhale. And we'll take just a brief hold as we slide the left hand down the outside of the leg. You can, by all means, turn your gaze to look up or keep your neck in neutral. And sweep of movement, second side. Again, feel free to turn your head or remain in neutral. Sweep it up. Exhaling. Flow the arms down. And you can either heel toe, your feet back to center, or just step one foot and then the other together. And we will come to sit on the floor or in the chair. So you always have the option to be in the chair. If you are coming down to the floor, please sit on some height. A block would be lovely, or your blanket. And as best you can, extend your legs long. So long for you might be with a little soft bend. Depends on your body. What we don't want to happen is to go to straight legs, which can sometimes cause a collapse in the upper body. So if bending the knees helps you maintain that upright spine, please work with a bend. Or if you're fine with the lengthening, go ahead and do that. Arms forward. Let's interlace our fingers, press the palms forward. And now everyone, bend your knees. And let's lengthen the legs to wherever you're going and lift the arms. And little bend of the knees, palms forward. Lengthen to your length, could still have a bend there. This could all be happening, of course, in the chair, same thing. Inhale, lift. Legs lengthening, toes spreading, palms pressing. If this doesn't feel great on your shoulders, of course, you can go wider, skip the interlace. What's important is the length in the spine. A few more breaths here. And release, bring your hands to your heart. Let your legs soften. You can wiggle back and forth a little bit. And we'll do one more because we always want to reverse. So you had one index finger on top. Switch it up to the side that feels kind of weird, less familiar. Lengthen the legs, press the palms. And this time as we bend the knees, we're bending the elbows out to the sides and pressing forward. Out to the sides. pressing forward. A few more times. Exhaling, drawing in. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhale here. Undo the interlace. Fingers stretch directly forward and release the arms. Cross the legs. If you're in the chair, you can just come on back to your mountain position, which would be with knees directly forward, just the way we started. And we'll do one or two more things from seated. Bringing your arms up into cactus. So from cactus, simply lowering fingertips, inhaling, lifting, and exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Last time on your inhale, we're going to keep the elbows lifted and quite far apart because we're coming into a twist. So it's not a big movement, twisting to the side, back to center, twisting to the other side, back to center. Take it a few times. What we're trying to avoid is having the elbows come towards each other. They stay wide. The next time you open your cactus, your twist towards the right, stretch your arms up long and release. Little held twist. Breathe. Sweep the arms up on the inhale, come back to center, release, and switch the cross of your legs. Sometimes it's fun to give this a try without support or use your hands. Doesn't matter. Just make sure you're on the second side. And one more time, cactus. Twisting on the exhale. Keeping those elbows wide. The next time you twist towards your left, lift the arms up. Exhale, release them down. Brief, held twist. Come on back to center. Hands to the heart. Close your eyes for a moment. Pause and notice. What are you feeling physically? And maybe check in with emotionally. Perhaps you're feeling a little bit more centered, more grounded, or who knows, more distracted. Could happen either way. Being still. Yes, Kamala, I see you. Ears, yes, I see. Floating your eyes open. For those of you who have your videos on, could you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down on volume? I see Kamala is giving me a big thumbs down. Mostly I'm getting thumbs up. So Kamala, you might want to adjust your volume. Yeah, I'm getting all thumbs. Oh, and Arlene, this is standard for you. Sorry, but I know it happens every week. Yeah, both of you might need to adjust your settings because everyone else is thumbs up. So we are going to come on down to our bellies And can I also see by show of hands anyone who is not coming down to bellies? I don't know what's going on with people who are blocked, but most of us are coming down. So I will very briefly show what standing people might be doing. Very briefly, because I'm not sure if there are any of you doing this. Everybody else, you can come on down to your bellies. We'll be doing it together in a moment. But for people who are remaining standing, we're going to lift one leg behind and then the other. This will be on the floor, of course, just lifting the legs. And then when we come to lift both legs, people who are standing will be here. Two legs doing the same thing. Okay, so that's for standers. For people who are coming down to their bellies, come on down, plant your forehead, tops of the feet pressing down. I'm going to speak up quite a bit here because I know two of you can't hear me well. We'll lift just the left leg right from the hip socket, straight leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Same thing, other side, right leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Lift. Lower. Lift. Lower, side to side. We're alternating the lift of a straight leg. I'll demonstrate what's going to happen next, and then I'll come closer to my machine so everyone can hopefully hear me better. So look first, and then I'll come talk you through it. So for this next part, we're lifting the upper body and the leg. Come on back down, side to side, upper body, opposite leg, upper body, first leg. We'll do that a few times, and then our hold will be both legs and upper body lifted. Feel free to extend arms forward, only for people with very strong backs. Okay. So I'm coming closer. So hopefully Arlene and Kamala will be able to hear me as well. Everyone lying flat on your tummies. And just the right leg. Upper body stays grounded. Lift that right leg. It might just be an inch or two up off the ground. Straight-ish leg. Exhale, release. Other side, inhale, lift, left leg lifts. Body staying grounded here. Janet, we're not lifting upper body yet. And release back down, just the legs initially. Side to side, lifting and lowering. Inhale, exhale. A few more times on your own. And rest. Both legs release to the earth. You can take your rest with your forehead on your folded forearms, or if you're fine with arms alongside the body, just remain there. Legs relax. Focusing on your breath. Noticing how your body moves in this prone position as you breathe. Do you notice a gentle pressure of the belly into the floor as you inhale? And a softening towards the earth as you exhale. Encourage that to happen. Gentle pressure of tummy into earth, inhale. And softening, releasing, sinking more deeply, exhale. A few more times on your own. And we will now come into our full locust pose. This is called locust pose. So your arms are alongside your body. Your palms can be facing down or in, whichever you prefer. You're lifting your upper body and your legs at the same time. Pause here for, well, let's do it with the breath. Exhale, release, come on down to the floor, legs and upper body release. We'll do it 2 more times with the breath. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, soften back to the earth. And this is upper body from the chest. I see lots of heads coming up first. Inhaling, lift from chest, and then shoulders, then the neck and head. And soften, release, come back down. Last time is our hold. Pause. Hands can be pressing into the earth for a little more stability, or you can lift them. People at the chair who might be standing, this is your pose. A few breaths here. Inhale and exhale, release. Soften back down, take opposite arm on top. That's the one that's not habitually coming to the top. Changing it up a little bit, and rest. Let your legs go a little bit wider if you're on the ground, and let your heels roll out. And you might feel good swaying your hips a little bit from side to side. Coming back to a sense of ease and release. And we're going to roll over onto our backs. Oh, let's come to hands and knees first. We didn't do a floor dog. So before we come to our backs, let's come to hands and knees. For people who don't like being on their knees, this is your hands and knees, right? There's always options. Or pad your knees, come on down to all fours, table pose. Hands directly under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's take some cat-cow stretches. So very much like what we did when we began class seated, let's tuck the toes. And this is cow pose. Inhaling, lift sits bones. Feel that place between your shoulder blades, release down, chin a little bit up. Coming back to neutral. And inhaling. And here's where you're taking care of yourself. Only rounding if it's safe for your back. Some of you are coming back to neutral. So you choose. Connecting with your breath. Inhaling on cow pose when the belly releases towards the floor. And exhaling on cat. It's like the arc of an angry cat's back on the exhale. Coming back to cow pose, we're going to move into downward dog. For those of you who choose to, some of you could be working on the chair. Hands a little bit more forward. There's that arc in the spine. Inhale, exhale, bent knees, downward dog. One breath here only. Release, come on back to cow. Arch spine. Exhale, draw the belly back and in. Lift, bent knees again. Inhale, come on back down. Arc the spine, cow pose. Last time will be our hold in dog. You choose. Bent knees, or see how it might feel to lengthen your legs. If you can see yourself in your Zoom screen, what you don't want to happen is when the legs come straight, the body comes forward. So we want that length in the spine, hips back. Think about pressing chest towards thighs. A few breaths here. Come down at any time. Everyone, please do release. Knees down to the earth, or you're standing in front of your chair in mountain pose, kneeling or standing mountain. And now let's transition for those who are making that choice to come to the floor on their backs. Take a look first. This will be very familiar for most of you. You'll need a strap, and I'll just demonstrate as if I was on my back. You're putting your strap around your foot, you're bending knee, thigh towards chest, and you'll lengthen. We'll do this with the breath. I'm going much faster than we'll do it together. Just watch first. And then you'll do the same thing out to the side. You can hold on if you're in the chair, bending and lengthening. And then we'll do the same thing. Ooh, just a little movement across the midline. It's not a big movement. And ooh, how would it feel to bend and straighten here? So everyone situate yourselves, please. You will obviously need a strap of some sort. And you can be either in the chair or on the floor. I'm staying in the chair today. Please bend your knees, everyone. If you're in the chair, you can hinge back to find the support of your chair back. Take your strap, loop it around ball mounds of the right foot. Snuggle in pretty close to your foot with your hands and draw your thigh towards your chest. Lengthen that leg any height. Exhale, thigh to chest. Your height might be here. Some of you, maybe you just feel today being on the ground. So everyone working where they feel safe. Exhaling, thigh to chest. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhaling one more time here at center. Switching the strap to the right hand, bring your leg out to the side, especially if you're on the ground, not too far. So you don't want to be all the way over with leg on the ground. On the ground, people, arm can be out in a T, bending knee, and lengthening that leg out to the side. Bending and lengthening. Bending. Here's a little hold, lengthen. Breathe. Let's bring that leg back to center. Transfer the straps into your other hand. Leg comes across the midline just a bit, not too much. And how would it feel to bend here in this position? And lengthen. Maybe you're feeling a lot going on the outside of the thigh. Bending and lengthening. You can certainly have your opposite arm out in a T as we hold. Come on back to center. Bend the knee one more time. Release the strap, bring the foot down. Both feet are on the earth. So chair people, this time I'm coming close, so hopefully everyone can hear me. Take your strap and place it around the ball mounds of the opposite foot. Snuggle those hands pretty close to the foot so that you can bend the knee and draw the thigh close to the chest. Inhaling, lengthen the leg to your length. Exhaling, bend the knee, thigh to chest. Inhaling, lengthen the leg. Do that a few more times at your own pace. The next time you bring that leg to a lengthened position, pause, press out well through the heel, lengthen your arms on the strap so they're not bent. Yes, nice. I saw some good adjustments there. But don't reach up so far that you feel your shoulders start to hunch off the earth. Take both sides of the strap into your left hand, I believe this is. Let that leg come out and open to the side. It's a very open position. And bending the knee, thigh towards chest. Straighten the leg. Bending the knee. Straighten the leg out to the side. This is all happening out to the side. And the next time you extend that leg long, brief hold with the leg to the side. And now the leg comes back to center. You're transferring both sides of the strap into the opposite hand. Leg comes a little bit across the midline. It's a small movement. And once again, bending the knee, lengthening the leg a little across the midline, bending and lengthening. One more time. This time as you lengthen, there's a brief hold. Experiencing that stretch in the outside of the hip. You've got a big band of muscles along the upper thigh, the IT band, that's getting some work. Bring your leg back up to center, please. Bend your knee, take the strap off, and replace the foot back down to the earth. And let's just take the very simple bridge flow to end. So lifting your arms back behind you, framing your ears. Exhaling, bring the arms down, just the arms. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, release. And this last time, for people on the floor, if you'd like to lift your hips as you lift your arms, go ahead and do that. And do that with your breath a few times. For people in the chair, I'd recommend just working the arms. And everyone, please release the arms down. We're not going to hold bridge pose today. We're working towards quiet and release Take any last movement that you would like to. Maybe you're feeling like a nice stretch would be great right about now. You can lengthen your arms and your legs. You can take, I see a happy baby happening. You could take Apanasana, whatever would feel good right now in this moment. And finally, settling yourself in for relaxation. In the chair, it's nice to have some support coming back to relax into the back of your chair. On the floor, it's nice to have something under your knees. Ooh, or I see Patty putting her calves up on a chair. That can be really pleasant way to relax the low back. Turn your attention inward once again to your breath. Allow your body to be completely relaxed and sinking towards the earth. If you can imagine the earth gently rising up to support you as you sink back, that can be a pleasant image. Your breath is now at a natural rhythm or moving towards natural, and your mind is focused inward on your breath. I've been quoting Thich Nhat Hanh this week in my classes. He's a Vietnamese Buddhist monk who's written a lot of beautiful things about meditation. And one of the simplest things he guides people through who are beginning the process of meditation or relaxation is the simple phrases. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Just that. For a few rounds, breathing in, say to yourself, I am breathing in. As you breathe out, say to yourself, I am breathing out. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. You can continue with that if it's restful for you, or simply return your attention to your breathing for the next few moments.